You're watching It's Life with your hosts, Juan Lee and Oliver Marcel. Come join us for enriching, enlightening, encouraging, and thought-provoking conversation. Let's go. What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello. How you doing, Oliver?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm learning some things that I should not do. I'm learning some things that I should never do. I mean, after 3 years of doing this is the first time that I've done something like this. I'm trying to get my eating under control,
Right.
not eating late at night. So I thought I would eat before we recorded, and I'm suffering from it. So
hey, did you eat fast? You were trying to rush?
that's what I'm saying. See, you ain't got to give all my business, but yeah, that's exactly what I did. I tried to squeeze it in before we did this, and I'm paying for it, and I'm paying for it. So we're gonna make it happen. But I know I ain't gonna do this no more.
Hey, listen, I applaud your effort in terms as it relates to eating before a certain time. Like I'm on this journey, and I feel like I'm doing really well. I had a speaking engagement right before the weekend before this is being recorded, and some of the guys who hadn't seen me in a while were like, "Hey, bro, like, what you doing?" I'm like, "Thank you for noticing. That means it's working." You know what I mean? But the one thing I haven't gotten to yet is the eating time. Like I still eat fairly. Like, for example, it's gonna be pretty late tonight before I actually am able to sit down and eat.
Yeah,
So
and see, and that's the thing. I'm be honest with you. That I'm a 17-hour, 16-hour fast every day.
okay.
So I gotta get it in by 6 to bed, and then I don't eat again tomorrow until noon.
Oh yeah. So man,
So
that's
so
I love
so if I don't and if I don't do it before then, I'm caught up into the 9 o'clock hour,
it.
and I'm like, I'll be not be able to eat until like 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, that's where I'm gonna be tonight. Nine or later, probably.
Yeah, I hear you. But I'm be honest with you. That's a game changer though, to stop
Hmm.
eating before it gets too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we didn't got into all our business, and I know it's many people aren't too interested in that, but
Hey,
hey,
it's
welcome.
life. It's life. That's
Hey,
part of life, man.
that's exactly what this
Part of
is.
life.
It's life. Welcome to It's Life. My name is Juan Lee, and that's Oliver Marcel. And this is presented by Clear Journey, a nonprofit that provides information that will help you navigate life more successfully. We provide you with the mindset so that you can have the tools necessary to navigate life more successful and to be your very best in this thing called life. So, if this is your first time, subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel. You might see us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, but go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Or if you want to learn more about Clear Journey, go over to our website. It's new and improved website. Now, don't get me wrong, we're still working out some bugs, but it's new and improved either way. So go over there and find out a little bit more about us, and we can see what we're about. So in addition, I'm the founder, but I'm also an author of a book called Love Made Simple: The Guide to Inner Peace, Contentment, and Success. And it's the foundation of Clear Journey. Clear Journey is, my book is about really talking about the mindset, a love mindset, and it's the ability to put love into action. And how do we do that? It's being able to have the right mindset with the proper attitudes so that we can navigate life more successfully. And so if you would be able to want to support us, pick it up. It's an Audible, you can get the book or you can get the digital copy of it. But by all means, if you would like to get a copy of it, support us. All of it goes to helping us to continue our journey and to support you in your journey. Also, something that we want you really to have, because we really feel that it's a pillar in this thing called life. It's our free um, ebook. It's called Budgeting Made Easy, the guide to taking charge of your money. Go over to the website, pick it up. It's free. All you got to do is, say, put in your email and it will send it right to you. So it is essential. We think that having a good control, good handle on your finances is the way to be able to navigate your dreams, your desires, your ambitions, your goals. And so go over, pick that up for free. That is exactly what that is, for you for free. And our guest tonight is going to be in that same vein. So you may be able to put the pieces together with the budgeting and some of the things that he's going to be talking about tonight. But it's going to be, that's what we're here for, to give you the tools that you need so that you can navigate it together. So Oliver, you want to throw anything else in there real quick before we get started?
No, it's good, man. I say this every time we have somebody who is going to talk about finances. So for those of you who have heard it before, you're about to hear it again. I absolutely love when this is the conversation piece. Um, those who know me know I'm passionate about relationships. So I'm always going to be engaged in the relationship talk and the men talk and the mental health talk. Like all of it is important, but I specifically like the financial conversations because I always learn something. And because I felt like I was a late bloomer as it relates to being exposed to this information, I always love when we have people on who can expose others to the importance of this level of literacy. So I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Well, let's go on and get it on then. Let's bring our guests on. Today we have a pleasure of speaking with Jonathan Wright, a highly skilled licensed financial provider with a passion to help individuals achieve financial security and generate wealth. With over 10 years of experience, Jonathan has worked with major organizations like Department of Defense, Northrop Grumman, and the NVR Mortgage. He also is dedicated to financial literacy educator, empower communities with the tools that they need to make their financial decisions. Welcome, Jonathan, to the show.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for having me. It's a blessing to be
Hey,
here.
thanks for spending some time, which I know this is a long day for you. So we're gonna muddle through it real quick. But I tell you, thank you for giving us some time to share some of your insights with us. Um,
Absolutely.
let's get started. Really into the nuts and bolts of it. Give us a little bit about you and your journey as it relates to getting into the finance. Oliver was talking about he was a little bit late to the game. How did you get into it?
And it really started from my father. I mean, my dad, he was very inspirational, very impactful in my life. He was a finance officer in the military. And so learning from him in terms of his fiscal responsibility and always being a provider. And so that really resonated with me as I became an adult. In fact, so much so that I actually followed in his footsteps. He actually retired from the Pentagon, and I actually left my job where I was at the Pentagon 2 years ago to start my practice. And so just really learning from him and then passing that knowledge on to my children and also through my church. And really where I really honed in on my skill set was really starting a ministry at my church called the Money Smart Ministry. And I really saw that there was a need where people, they needed advice, they needed guidance, but they wanted to add the biblical principles um, in that message. And so we created the ministry and it became a big hit. It's been over 20 years. But it got to the point where people were getting the information, but they didn't know how to act on it. And so now it's like, all right, you got the education, you're learning, that's great. But if you don't put it into action, then it really doesn't mean much. And so that's where I was like, well, how do I get in a position to not only educate, but to execute on the information that we were sharing? And that's when I became licensed and went down that path to start my own practice and now giving other people the opportunity to join in this fight to close the wealth gap. And that's really, really what our mission and vision is for the future.
Hey, that sounds great. And just to normally I give an attitude that preempt what we're talking about. And the attitude for tonight is discipline.
Yeah.
You know, it's about being disciplined is what this is all about. To be able to build wealth, it takes discipline. And so that's that love mindset attitude that we want to infuse into this, because this information that you're sharing, that you're going to be sharing, is going to require something from us. It's going to require something from us. So, and that requiring, it's going to be discipline. If we want that reward at the end, we're going to have to walk this journey in some discipline, under some discipline. And so hopefully as you share more of what you're going to be sharing with us, you'll be able to see how discipline will play a part in all of the things that Jonathan will be sharing with us. So Jonathan, what do you think? How long? So you started your practice now for about 2 years now, you say 1 or 2 years?
2 years.
And
Yeah.
so with that being said, what are some of the things that you've learned or you've seen has been some of the common mistakes that people have been, engaged in or have been fallen prey to as it relates to in this space called in their financial space?
Yeah. I think the number one is mindset in
Mhm.
terms of they haven't been, a lot of people haven't been taught how to manage money,
Mhm.
right? They learn through the school of hard knocks, and the school of hard knocks is very expensive tuition. And so a lot of times you make a lot of mistakes along the way and you don't want to seek guidance. You think you can go on YouTube or go on and look at things, but you got to actually read for yourself. Just like the Bible, when I tell people, if people can tell you all day about Jesus, but if you don't know him for yourself, you got to know that. So same with your finances, and getting the education, I think is critical, but also learning from people who are in a position where you want to be and really start asking questions, getting mentorship. And that's what I did. So I started really learning about money from multimillionaires and people who had wealth and reached places that I wanted to be. And I humbled myself to go and say, hey, I want to learn what you are doing so that I can help other people do the same thing and create wealth for my family. And I think that's the biggest thing, is asking for help and seeking guidance. And sometimes that requires you to make some investments. And so you got to invest in your health and your education and things of that nature. I think the other big piece is health and wealth. I think people don't see how that goes together, ties, because the cost of healthcare and the cost of long-term care is going up tremendously. And no matter how many millions you have, it could have a significant impact on your wealth if you don't really plan for that. And so staying healthy, eating healthy, things of that nature is critical when you're looking at your finances. So I think just tying those intangibles, I think, are things that people miss.
Mhm.
Well, you just roll right down the pillars of clear journey. We talk about the four pillars as basically relationships, finances, health and wellness, and overall self-improvement. And so you basically stepped on the fact. And then when you talked about a mindset, whoa, did you think we were talking about it? People might think we were talking offline when you said that. Jeez. But I mean, we were, so it ain't no big deal. But the fact is that that's how synergy really happens, because, you know, the conversation that you and I had many months ago now. But it was that type of connection that we had when we spoke the first time, and really it was why I wanted you on the show here, because it's exactly what we need, is to have the right mindset to get over some things that we haven't been exposed to in many cases.
Yeah. And
And so
I would also say financial traumas too. I
Mm.
hear a lot of people coming to me and saying, looking back at their past and saying, I didn't come from money, or I've made poor mistakes, and I lost a lot of money in the past, and those financial behaviors really impact how they move going forward and really hinders them from reaching their ultimate goal, because they're really still focusing and still hurting from the emotional impact that money has had on them, whether that be a relationship that was impacted or came to a close because of money. And so now they have this love-hate relationship with money. They know they need it, to buy and to obtain things and to live the lifestyle they want to live, but they also don't treat it the way they need to for it to grow and really reach its fruition of where you're trying to reach. So I think that's been a big challenge for a lot of specifically minorities, with their relationship with money, at least from my vantage point and what I've seen.
Hey, I can attest to that, because it's really to be able to have some financial traumas and to be able to overcome them takes a real strong mindset. And I'll be honest with you, because here I'm raising my hand. I've taken some big hits. And but still understood the reason and the need to be able to stay in the game. But it had to start up here, because people, you get hit with a bad experience and you be like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna play that game. And granted, it taught me something. I learned something, but I didn't get out the game.
Mm-hmm. That's the key thing right there, what you just said.
Yeah,
I mean, that's key. Staying in the game and not thinking that that's the end. But a lot of people sometimes they'll just give up, and so they'll miss out on opportunities that God is presenting to them because of what happened to them in the past. Mm-hmm. And so my job a lot of time is being almost like a therapist. You're doing a lot of listening in terms of that emotional impact that money has had on them.
Wow. I love that you talked about the health piece, because we don't often connect the dots between other aspects of our life and finances. And so I love that you mentioned that, because for those of you who are watching this or watching the replay, this it's not one dimensional. And often we kind of separate it into, okay, I got to take care of that, and that's paramount. But you're taking care of that at the expense of some other things, which is just as detrimental as not taking care of it at all. So I love that you brought that out, man, because that's even for me thinking about, yeah, you know what? My wife and I were having a conversation over dinner. It might have been yesterday, actually. And we were just saying how, man, when we're up in age, there's just a certain quality of life that we want to experience, right? And even when we were having that conversation, if I think back, I wasn't really connecting it to long-term care costs and that kind of thing. But hearing you say that, I'm like, yep, it makes sense.
And those are the two factors that go into the cost of insurance: is your age and your health. Mm-hmm. And so the planning is so critical to have the foresight to say, I don't want to be a burden to my kids. So I'm going to start saving now so that I don't have to put that responsibility on them mm-hmm. to take care of me, which is also going to impact their emotional state, but also their financial state. And I've seen that with, the children that want to take care of their parents, but now they have to neglect their family at home. Mm-hmm. They got to neglect their job. They got to take out from work, which is going to impact their finances. So mm-hmm. it's all because of poor planning, but also the cost is so prohibitive a lot of times to get the type of insurances you need to combat the cost. And so it's almost like this cycle, like, the rich get richer and they have more resources and more opportunities to protect their wealth. So that's what I'm really battling with, is how do we get that under control? Because it's impacting even the wealthiest individuals in the United States right now.
Yeah. You basically stepped on, it's never too soon to get started.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Especially when you're talking about insurance, because that piece that you just said, long-term care, wife and I don't have any children. So when we got married, we knew we needed to take care of ourselves. So it was a difficult thing to take out, a policy at 33, thinking about being 70, and you still have to realize that you need to understand that you ain't gonna have neither the physical abilities nor the resources that you're going to need then, if they're going to be different than you have now. And so again, we talk about preparation, but that's something that I'm trying to think of. I don't even know. It was our financial planner. That was the bottom line. When we got married, our financial planner was basically saying, you're going to need some long-term care.
Yeah.
That's that counsel that you're talking about.
That's it.
They told you're going to need some long-term care. And the thing about it is, like you said, cost prohibitive. The care that we have now, they don't sell it no more.
Yeah, they getting out of the business. A lot of these companies are
Wow.
removing themselves because of the cost.
No, but what I'm saying is that we have it's no cap on that. They don't do that no more.
Nope.
They don't do those no more. They was like, they looked at our stuff because we've been doing this for 30 years. We've been paying into this company for 30 years. And they looked at this stuff and they're going like, they looked at the policy and they were like,
how'd you get that?
Yeah, they were like, oh man,
that's awesome.
And so the point I'm saying is that you can't start this thing too soon.
Yeah,
you really can't start it too soon. Now is the time. It ain't like you can. I can't reiterate this enough, guys. This information that we're sharing, now is the time to get it and start doing something with it and have the right mindset of understanding that, whatever you do today, it's going to help you in the future. And if not you, it will help your legacy. It will help the next generation. It will help your children. Because like you said, and the question that you started this off was, you got this from your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And the significance of it, probably when you got it, you had no idea.
Right.
But the fact is that now you know the significance of it, and your children are going to jump off they're going to jump off with this. So it's that type of enthusiasm that we really have to stir up in the community so that you understand, hey, now is the time. It ain't no more. Get to talking to people that you haven't been speaking to, because just because you're talking to people who don't know about it don't mean that it ain't out there. It ain't I mean, you talking to the wrong people.
And Juan, that's why we named the company, my last name is Wright, but Right Time Financial. And our slogan is now is the right time. Because what I'm learning, life is short and it's going fast. The days like seconds, the years are like minutes. It's like you look back, you're like, wow, man, time is flowing. You can see that in your kids as they're growing, and you look at them like, man, now my daughter's almost taller than me. She's 12 years old. And so like time, so I have a conscious understanding of how important time is. And you want to make an impact while you're here and getting this information out to people, and hopefully they act on it and take a sense of urgency to put things in place, because tomorrow's not promised. And so that's the way that I'm operating, and I try to employ that on my clients, is that we take action now. Put things in place while you can, while you're in your right mind, while you have the ability to do these things for the next generation. It's not about you. It's something bigger than you. And
well, don't start talking now. Now you're preaching there, boy. I tell you now, you're preaching. But that's okay. I like it. I like it. That's what we do here. We talk about love, and the application of it is the acting of it. It's love in action. This is what we do.
Yeah.
We put it into action. It ain't about sitting it on the shelf. It's about putting it into action.
Right.
So
you can't take this money with you. So
hey, and that's the truth. So how can people get started? What is it going to start improving their financial knowledge? I mean, what can they do?
I mean, one of the first things is give yourself grace. Like I said, let go of those past traumas and start focusing on, say, hey, this is a fresh start. We focused on the future. We're not looking back. Focus on what you can control. And the one thing you can control is your spending habits. So, I mean, like nobody's telling you to go out and spend and go to all these restaurants and go hang. Nobody's telling you to do all those things. That's you doing that. So you need to have a budget. You need to have some parameters around your spending and know the implications of what you're spending, right? Spending versus saving. If you save and hit your savings goals, then it's okay to spend, right? You've already done all your savings, you're on track. But the other thing is having a game plan. Like if you don't have a game plan, you don't know, you don't have the end in mind, then what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's key. You can't just be saving to be saving or spending to be spending, but having a game plan, because also that's going to keep you motivated. Because you're going to look at that goal, and I believe in vision boards. Like you have to visualize where you're going. And so at the beginning of the year, my whole family, we sit down, we do vision boards. And then we talk about where we're going. Midway through the year, we go back and say, all right, how are we doing? So you got to have a measuring stick, right? Go ahead and measure. Are we progressing? Are we moving forward? And that's where you have an accountability partner. And I think that is so critical that we miss. But have an accountability partner with somebody who is in a position where you want to be. I recommend not getting an accountability partner to somebody not where you want to be, right? You want to have somebody who you're like, you have a target. It's like, it's healthy competition. So I level up. And that helps me a lot to help reach my goals because they help me stretch my vision. So you want to have someone who's going to stretch your goals, stretch your vision, and hold you accountable and say, hey, what are you doing? And so that's going to help you tremendously as you're starting out. Then having a financial planner. And a lot of times people, I don't have enough money to talk to a financial planner. Well, you're not talking to the right financial planner then, right? Because at the right time, we wanted to remove those barriers and have a place, a beacon of hope for people to come in and seek guidance and not have to worry about, I don't have enough money to talk to you. So we made it affordable for you to come speak to one of our advisors. And we want to give people peace. And I think that's the key thing, is having peace of mind, because finances can be a stressful topic. So people run away from the topic and just ignore it like it's not going to impact them, right? But it impacts us every day. Mm-hmm. So I think those are some of the things that you can do, is setting a budget, having an accountability partner, having goals that are measurable, having a vision board, having guidance such as a financial planner to help guide you along the way.
And like you said, setting a budget it's free, and you get to control it. I don't think a lot of people, and that's why we promote the book so much, is that it gives you boundaries, it gives you guidelines, it gives you things that you can be able, you get to determine what goes in it, and then you have to allow it to govern you. Agreed. So when you were talking about, that's where you start, because guess what? You get to control what you spend. Mm-hmm. It was something I learned a long time ago. There's two types of monies that come into your hand, in your possession. It's either designated or obligated. Now, you determine to obligate that. You've promised that money to somebody else. That ain't even yours. It come into your hand, and if you got a bill to pay, that's their money. That's that obligated money. The other designated stuff, you get to put it where you want to. You get to determine where you want that, if you want to save it or if you want to blow it on a cup of coffee. That's right. You've got to take ownership of it. Mm-hmm. And it's you making it. So now if you got 100%, you got $100 and you done designated you obligated $100. Mm-hmm. That's the sign that something wrong. Okay. That's a sign of something wrong. And I think we were talking about that before we started. That's a sign that there's something wrong.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's a lot deeper, that emotional trauma. Again, some people find spending as a way to release stress, or they got something else that's impacting them, and it's the way that makes them feel when they're able to buy things. And that behavioral finance, before, years ago, that wasn't a thing. Now they got whole master's degrees on behavioral finance that you can go get. So it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm studying for my CFP right now, Certified Financial Planning designation, and that's a big part of the curriculum is really understanding people bias towards money, and it really impacts their decision making process.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as a financial planner and accountability partner, that's part of our role is to kind of unpack that and really get down to the crux of why what is the why that you don't have anything saved. Why do you have so much debt? You know, why are you not reaching your financial goals? Why don't you have financial goals? You know, so those are some of the questions that we really have to sit down and really reflect on and have that financial mindfulness about
Yeah.
my money.
Yeah, I think that's important too, man, because I'm guilty of this, so I can understand this being someone's mentality. Sometimes you think, man, if you just, you give me like my wife would say, give me £100 bag of $100 bills, then we good to go, right? But there's something up here that if the connection between head and heart have not been established, you can get that £100 bag of $100 bills and it'll be gone in 10 months because if this is not right, you know what I mean? And so I love that a lot of the focus that you're talking about really is on before we even figure out the money piece, let's take a step back and let's look at perspective. Let's look at approach. Let's look at mentality. Let's look at past trauma. Let's look at family of origin. Let's look at all these different factors that may play a role in what your viewpoint is right now. Because if we dump all this money on you or figure out how to dump all this money on you and haven't taken care of that and haven't worked through that, then you'd be right back in the same place at some point.
Yeah, I would say that broke mindset. I've seen people that save in their retirement accounts and it's in there for maybe a year or two, and then they pulling it out. And they only in their 40s. I'm like, whoa, why did you go pull it? But they won't even talk to me because they know what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
So they just go and do it, right? And then they pull it out and you got a penalty, you got taxes on it, and the compounding effect, let alone the rule 72. I mean, all that is against you. And now you're starting over. You wiped out all those years of saving for what? I mean, sometimes there are times where you have to do that, but a lot of times there's other means to do that, but you didn't want to seek guidance. So now you've really impacted your whole financial future and retirement plan. So, and it goes back to mentality again. Like if you had a mentality, if you put money in a retirement account, I can't touch that. That's off limits until 59 and a half or later. And I'm going to use that to create an income stream to sustain my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't depend on pensions. Like companies doing away with pensions. Most people are terrified about Social Security right now, if that's even going to be around.
Mm-hmm.
So now, all right, well, how am I going to live? It's got to be on you. You have a personalized pension plan, which requires you to be a good saver. And if you haven't learned that saving is important and you do it early so you get that compounding effect, you might be working until you die. That's scary.
Yes, it is.
Well, and it's not working until you die at 60. You be working until you die at 80.
Yes.
And that's the look. If there's anything that we can share on it, the shock value is a value too. and one of the things that really prompted me to get into the financial was my experience working with mortgages. Mm-hmm. And when I saw how people, they just wanted what they wanted. They weren't thinking about what it would cost, what the cost really was. And when they wanted what they wanted, they would throw out their mind went X's and it went blank. Because if all somebody said is that you can get it, we can get it for you. They didn't care what it cost. They just wanted it.
Mhm.
And so I looked at that and I go like, how do you live like that at 75?
Mm.
How do you do that? You can't. Nobody. When you look at yourself and you go, I'm 30, 40 years old. I won't be 30 or 40 years old 20 or 30 years from now. My ability to be able to generate revenue is now.
Mhm.
Now. And I have to be as like the ants and the squirrels. I gotta put away for the winter.
That's right.
So that when the winter comes, you have something to eat, and getting and retirement is putting away for the winter.
Most
and
definitely.
and so we've got to find a way to switch the mindset to understand that. And Oliver, you and I've talked about this. Is like we've got to live in the present, preparing for the future.
Mhm.
That's a mindset.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about the financial things that you need to take in, this is what this conversation is about, guys. It's about shifting what is the norm for now into a way of when we can prepare for the future. And that word again, prepare. Everybody think it's a bad word, but it's how we position ourselves for the future.
Yep. Yep. I
Yeah,
also don't want to. I also don't want to skip over something you said, Jonathan. You talked about the fact that people will say, I don't really have the money to talk to a financial advisor," and you're talking about how crucial that is, having that person as a part of your team, right? I just want to point this out, and I know we'll talk about how people can get in touch with you a little later, but I love the fact that you said right after that that your company has taken it upon themselves to eliminate that excuse. I mean, that's my word. That's not the word you use, but that's going to be my word. The excuse that I can't afford it, so I'm not going to do anything.
mm,
You all have taken that away, and I love that you said that. And so I think for those that are watching, it would be very beneficial for when you hear later how to get in touch with this guy. You don't have no reason to say no. So I appreciate that.
yeah. I mean, I think that was one of the main reasons that I didn't go with a larger firm. That I wanted to do things differently. So I said the only way I can do that is to start my own. And we started with 3 advisors. Now we're at 12, and now 4 more want to come on board. And we have done zero marketing.
Wow.
Partnering with Howard University, for example, to bring interns in to give them exposure to the space, which is male and predominantly white industry. And I see that when I go to conferences. It might be 5 or 10 of us, and we all give each other the eye. At least we come and talk to each other, but it's only a few of us in the room listening to all this information being shared. And I'm like, man, we got to get this out.
Mm-hmm.
We can't keep this to ourselves. And that's my mission and vision, and that's going to be my legacy that I leave here on this earth, is to give people an opportunity to get access, not only to information, but opportunities that they can then pass the seed on, keep passing it down and giving back. So that's the only way we're going to be able to accomplish, I think, the longer term goal of helping to close the wealth gap, is by doing that. Not being crabs in the barrel, being able to share and say, it's not taken from me. I mean, it's enough for everybody, right? And so that's been my mentality, and it's really God's really blessed me in that regard. So,
That's awesome. I love it.
What are some of the things that I think we've basically covered all of the questions through your answering of a lot of the questions that a lot of the things that you've talked about, and that's great. But let me ask you this then, as it relates to your thriving or your desire to help people. What's behind that? Why is it that you want to help people?
You know what? I think it really comes down to my parents. My parents have always been, givers. They've always been wanting to help others, especially my mother. She's really been inspirational in that regard. She's probably the most giving person that I've ever met. Like we'll go out and she just wants to help people. And I see that spirit in my daughter now. She sees somebody out there, she said, Dad, you got any money? Like they need money. Let's give them a few dollars. So it's always been about, philanthropy and how do we help and give back. Um, and I love that. I love the way it makes me feel. Right. And I see that, it's just one deed, but it might be small to me, but it might be monumental to the other person. So you don't know how it's going to impact them and how that love and just being able to be in a position to help other people. Like, why would you not? That's the approach that I take. And I think if we have more people that have that mentality, then we can affect real change.
I tell you, that's love in action there.
Mm-hmm.
That's love in action, and I said that because I understood, I know that to be the case with you, and it's about really making a difference in the lives of others, and this is so vital for us to be able to understand and to have someone to have your best interest to be able to manage or to navigate this space for you. And again, that's why we bring professionals on here so that they can hear from you all and really begin to understand, how to hear what you're saying. I mean, because when Oliver said, let people, reiterate the fact that, those things that we typically use as deterrents, those things that stop us, you realize that, hey, there's a way that we can get people the information. And then if they feel if they can get the information, they can make the right decision. And I think a part of that is giving them that hand that you're talking about and really understanding where they're coming from. That we got so many things that are working against us. And we've got to address them all so that we can all get to, into this situation and understand, because again, collectively, we're better together. And we can do more when we can trust and we can see and receive from others what we don't know, what we need help in.
I always tell people always ask me, like, man, do you love what you do? I love what I do because I can help people with one of the biggest problems, which is a money problem. And it can have lasting impacts not only on that individual, but their family and for generations to come through legacy. And I don't take that lightly. I mean, that's a huge responsibility. And I do all of this in love. I would do it for free, but I get paid for it. So I get paid to do something I love and make an impact. So I encourage people to find something that they love to do where it doesn't feel like work. You can make an impact and you can make a living. Mm-hmm. What better way?
Yeah. Look, we got about 5 minutes before we close this up. But let me ask you this. You just said something very interesting as it relates to finding something that you love and doing it in that manner. This interview that we're having right now comes from the way in which you come off at all times. This is who you are. It's really not what you do, it's who you are. And so when you present yourself like that, it really, people are drawn to it. And so I think in that mindset, I mean, that's what we're all called to do, is to find out who we are and then give out of who we are, not having to make it up and to try to muster it up, but really just to give from who we are. And I think you're a tremendous example of that love in action that we talk about here at Clear Journey. And so all I would like to say is if people hear you, they have to resonate, but at the same time, he's a person that's going to be able to protect you and your family. Give us one little word about legacy. How important do you think, or what's the significance of a legacy?
For me, legacy is not what you teach, and it's not just what you leave. It's really about your principles, your values, the lessons that you pass down to the children, to your community, the people you care about. How do you want to be remembered? And generosity is critical, right? Financial discipline is important as well. Because it's not about just leaving money. It's about leaving those intangibles. Like, I'll give you an example. So Thanksgiving, my family, is a favorite time of year for me. So we go down to North Carolina. My family's from Charlotte. So right before we eat, we all circle around, we hold hands, and we tell what we're thankful for. And it's always, it's a joyous time, but it's also a sad time because we remember the people that are not in the circle, that didn't make it through the year. But we're thankful for the time that we spent with them and things of that nature. So we just, it's a time of reflection. And my daughter, she always loves that time. She says it's my favorite time because it's with family, but it's an opportunity for us to just really give thanks together in a community. And that's something I want to pass down to her. And I'm hopeful that she does the same thing with her family. And we continue to keep that going. So that's legacy to me, without even talking about all the money, the life insurance, all that kind of stuff. Because, I mean, you can spend all of that and it's gone. But those memories and those times that you spent with the family, I mean, you can't take that away from somebody, but you can pass that on to the next generation. So I think that's what's important. I think we put a lot of emphasis on legacy when it comes to financial resources or monetary or materialistic things. But at the end of the day, you can't really take any of that stuff with you. But it's the intangible things that I think are most important.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff.
Got anything, Oliver? Because we're gonna wrap it up.
No, that's a great place to land the plane. I mean, just thinking about legacy in a very holistic way, and it just that it puts meat on the bones of that verse that says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children, and you just put some heavy meat on those bones. So, man, thank you for sharing that.
Well, look, how can we reach? I got some stuff in there, Oliver. You can pop up on the screen for them.
Sure.
You tell us if this is some good stuff for you.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of reaching out to me or any of our associates, righttimefinancial.com. You can email us at contact us at righttimefinancial.com. You send us call us, email. Any of that way, we'll get in contact with you. I mean, go to the website, reach out, and we'd love to connect with you and just hear from you in terms of what's on your mind, what are your challenges, what are you facing. We have a good staff. I mean, we have 12 advisors across 6 states, and everybody is super passionate about what they do and helping people. So we're excited to be a beacon of hope for you and your family.
Well,
good stuff.
I tell you, if you're looking for someone that has your best interest in mind, I think, that's the thing that really people should really resonate with, because if you have had some traumas, you need somebody to hold your hand through those traumas. And if you just don't understand how it works, hopefully what we're providing here at Clear Journey will give you the right mindset so that you can recognize those people that are there to give you the right counsel, so that you can navigate this space. So, Jonathan, I would like to just tell you thank you. We really appreciate you coming out. I'm going to chase you down like a hound dog.
Hey, well, I'm here. Look,
I'm
My
gonna I'm
fault.
gonna chase you down like a hound dog because I think the message and the heart um, is what we need to be able to demonstrate to people. And I think you're a poster child for Clear Journey. I mean, I be honest with you. It's really being able to demonstrate exactly what we're trying to implement, and
Mhm.
that is to show people put love into action. And when you said be what it is that demonstrate who you are, and you'll never work a day in your life. That's in essence what love in action is all about. And so again, I thank you. I
Yeah, man.
appreciate you.
I commend you guys what you're doing. This is fantastic. I really appreciate the opportunity. Love to come back and share more information, and we'll be
Well,
working
yeah, we
together.
we gonna make that happen too. Hey, don't go nowhere. We're gonna close out the show, and don't go nowhere. I'm gonna put you in the
I
back
got
of the
you.
green room, but
I'm
don't go
here.
nowhere. All
I'll be
righty.
there. All right.
Yeah, good stuff, man. I'm always like I said, I always want to be in the room when these conversations happen. And you can just tell, like, I'm not. So let me put this disclaimer out there for any other folks that we've talked to. I'm not downplaying any folks that we talk to, but you know that there's certain people that you can just hear and see their passion for service and their heart for the people and their desire to be impactful, right? And that exudes from just what was shared today. And so for those of you, again, I'm gonna put this contact information up there. Make sure that you are reaching out to Jonathan and his team. There's a phone number there. There's the website that you can go and check out. There's also an email address as well. Make sure that you connect and begin the process that will be beneficial for not only you but for those that look up to you and will follow you in life. So, good stuff.
And stay connected with Clear Journey, because that's what we do here is
Indeed.
we put you in contact with those people that can help you navigate your journey more successfully, and you can reach your full potential. So
Mhm.
that's what we're all about here. We're putting the right mindset with all the areas of life so that we can navigate it. Hey, before you let people know how they can reach out to you and get in touch with you.
Indeed, if you're a social media person, that's the social media handle right there at Denali LLC everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Those of you who are not familiar with me, I am passionate about seeing relationships thrive both personally and professionally. And as an author, speaker, and coach, that is my whole purpose in life, is to share my journey in hopes that it will encourage and inspire you on yours. Um, I am also the author of a book entitled Overcoming the Man Laws for the Man Who Wants to Be His Best Despite What He Was Taught. And that has kind of catapulted me into the men's space, passionate about seeing men win in every area of their lives and seeing relationships thrive and just partnering with you to build the relationship of your dreams. So check us out on social media. Also, if you are an email person, you can email us or email me directly at the email that's on your screen.
Oliver is a strategic partner of Clear Journey, so by all means, reach out to him for any of the things that he has shared with you right there. In addition to that, before we close out, I'd like to tell you about a thing that we're doing. I have a, a, a meetup, and it's Love is the Answer. We do it put the other one. Can you put the other one up, Oliver? Yeah, that one right there, because that other one had the date on it. That was the first one. This is going to be Tuesday, every fourth Tuesday of the month. All you got to do is go to the website and register for it. one way or another. You could either go through it on Eventbrite and get to it, or you can go to my meetup group and get it, or you can go to the website and get it. But what we're there talking about is the power of love, in the sense of love being the answer. Love being the answer. No matter what the challenge or what you're going through, love's the answer. And just as we've presented it here tonight with the right attitude, it's a conversation where we come together and support each other, help one another navigate life in a very practical way. And so by all means, come on out once a month, and we're just gonna just share. Um, I'm really excited about it. So by all means, come on out. If you need more information, like I said, go to clearjourney.org and register for it. We'll send you a link to the event. It's all online. And so we want to see you there. If you got the time, we're open armed for you and want you to be a part of the community. All righty. That being said, as always, we can't change life, but we surely can help you navigate it. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Later.